So this is my 2024 Mustang GT. It's been almost a year since I've owned this car. That will be in like 2 weeks. It will be officially a year since I picked it up. I was like one of the earlier people to get the S650. Within this whole year, I did a ton of stuff to the Mustang. And I'm gonna be going over every single thing I did to the car. Hopefully this will help you on what you wanna do to your car, or if you're planning on getting an S650, hopefully it can help you decide what you wanna do to it. I'm gonna start off with the front lip. The S650 is not the most aggressive looking car, and there's not many front splitters or front spoilers, whatever you want to call it, out there for the Mustang yet, even though it's been out for a year now. The only good lip I like, front splitter, lip, whatever you want to call it, is the Dark Horse lip, but you got to spend like $80,000 if you want to get that. I got the Farrell Industries front lip. They were one of the first companies to actually come out with a front lip for the S650 Mustang, and I think it's probably the best looking one out on the market right now. I know RTR has one. Personally, for me, that one sticks out a little too far. So the next thing, which I think makes the S650 so much more aggressive, personally though, it's a hit or miss between some people. Some people like it, some people don't like it, is the RTR grill. I think they really did a great job on the S650s. I also had it on my S550 and I loved it, but the reason why I say they went out of the park on the S650s, let me actually turn on the car and show you. So why I say they went out of the park is because the design they did, they have 3 LED bars. They gradually get smaller as they go in because it's resembling the air getting sucked in, because they have the 2 throttle bodies and 2 air intakes, which also Ford, that is like a great thing. The engine bay looks way better than the S550s personally, in my opinion. But also another good thing is what RTR did that they didn't do on the S550s is that this is a switchback, so it matches the turn signals and it turns amber when you, so you can see the turn signal is on and it matches with the turn signal. I know this headlight's kind of hard to see because it's flickering because of the camera, but you guys get the point on what I'm talking about. Since we're talking about the appearance of the car, I'm going to be talking about the wheels. The wheels are HRE FF10s in matte black, or what HRE calls it is tarmac, which is pretty much a satin matte black. And they are super hard to clean. They're not like hard to clean. I'll clean them, use a brush on them and everything, and there'll still be some like residue of brake dust. I mean, if you had the non-Brembo brakes, you probably get way less brake dust, because on my S550, I didn't have the performance package Brembo brakes, and I got like no brake dust. And I had wheels actually worse than these to clean. I actually love these wheels. They make them in, I think, like gunmetal gray and silver. I would definitely get these again in silver. I think the silver would make the car pop. The wheels are a 20x10 in the front, and then in the rear they are a 20x11. Wrapped around the tires are Michelin Pilot Sport for all seasons. 275 35 20s in the front, big meats in the back, 315 35 20s. To kind of touch base on the tires a little bit, like I said, these are the all-season Michelin Pilot Sport for all season. Don't let it fool you because they're an all-season tire. These tires are actually great. I still do actually spin a little bit even though these are 315s. They're great. I mean, Illinois has a ton of different weather. It's literally unpredictable. It might rain in like 10 minutes. The Weather Channel sucks. They never know. No issues with the tires. I've ran them on the drag strip. I ran them on Tail of the Dragon. You guys should check out that video. It'll be linked up here. Me running the S650 on Tail of the Dragon 6 times, just beating the snot out of the car. The tires have held up to literally everything I've thrown at it, and there's still a ton of life left. So one of the things I actually regret not getting on my S650 is the Night Pony package, which includes black mirror caps, which I definitely need to get, black badges, which I already swapped out to that, and it gives you black headlight housing instead of the silver chrome. Also, it comes with a black roof. So I had a red roof and I got it wrapped in Xpel black PPF, which isn't a wrap, it is PPF, which stands for paint protection film. And I kind of prefer this over the black paint because 1, it's removable and it has a 10-year warranty for 2. And then 3, it also heals micro swirls and scratches with hot water, so you don't have to worry about any scratches. I've had this on all summer, 6 months now, and there's not a single scratch on there. So another thing I actually ended up getting on my S650, because it was very ugly when I bought it, is I had no wing on the S650. I had the spoiler delete option on the S650. That's why I was kind of hesitant to buy this, because I actually did have one on order, but that's a whole nother story. We're not going to get into it. But I ended up picking up this OEM Dark Horse non-handling package wing, which I think is an absolute great touch. I like the matte silver grayish finish, and the double decker has the gloss black underneath. It was very desperate for a wing on the back because it looked so naked without it. Like I said, this is the OEM non-handling package. So if you guys didn't know, there's a handling package wing for the Dark Horse and a non-handling package wing for the Dark Horse. And this is the non-handling package. And if you get the handling package, it has like gurney flap and a bunch of other add-ons. And yes, to answer your question, I did have to drill into the plastic in the back of my trunk. Now we're going to kind of go into the performance aspect of things. I'm going to talk about the lowering springs I have, which have been a huge mess, at least on my car. I ended up first getting the Steeda Sport progressive springs, and those dropped it way too low. I was rubbing on everything, didn't like it. So I ended up getting the Ford Performance Track lowering spring kit, which drops it approximately about 1 inch in the front and about 1 inch in the rear. and I honestly think it's perfect. The springs are a little bit stiffer, so if you don't mind a little stiffer ride, they're great because I personally like the handling aspect of the car and I want it to corner good. I like the track springs. I think they've been perfect and phenomenal, and I've had no issues, no rubbing issues either. I definitely would recommend them, and this is how the fitment looks. I'll kind of get out of the frame for you guys, but like I said, it's an approximate drop of about an inch in the front and rear, so it's a pretty even drop, and there's not much rake on the car either, so I think it looks great. To pair those Ford Performance track lowering springs, I got Steeda Pro Action non-adjustable shocks and struts front and rear, and those get rid of all of the bounce. So like you're going on a highway, you hit like a dip and the car bounces down and then up and then down a little bit, like the rebound. Those shocks and struts eliminate all of that. It definitely makes the steering a little bit stiffer. It is a little rougher, I will not lie, but it's not too rough. I daily drive the car and I don't mind the ride at all. To add with the suspension modifications, I ended up adding Steeda IRS Subframe Braces, which connects to the rear subframe and limits the like wheel hop and the movement of the rear subframe. The IRS Subframe Brace is part of their Steeda Stop the Hop kit. I don't have the entire Stop the Hop kit, but I plan on getting the rest of it down the line eventually. Summer's kind of coming to ends, but I definitely recommend those IRS Subframe Braces. Like I said, it limits the wheel hop and the movement of the subframe, and I can definitely feel the rear end tighter. It's more planted on the ground. What I definitely want to do down the line is get some sway bars, but I don't have those yet, but that is it for a future video. The hood's popped, guys. I don't want you guys to see the Whipple yet and all my performance and all my tunes for the S650. So in addition to the Steeda shock struts, Ford springs, I actually got Maximum Motorsport caster camber plates, which to dial in the camber and the caster and all those type of alignment specs. Now it's not necessarily needed. You could get a camber bolt and that just adjusts the camber in and out, and that goes like on the lower part of the strut. I wanted more adjustability, and plus sometimes those camber bolts aren't super safe because I was going on Tail of the Dragon. I plan on tracking the car maybe this year or next year. Caster camber plates are just way better for that application. And plus it gives you more steering feel and road feel. It feels like you're way more connected to the road. It doesn't make the ride any more rough, but there is a little NVH, but it's nothing bad. Like I said, I do daily drive the car and it's still super comfortable and super smooth. And plus it has a spherical bearing in there and it gets rid of the rubber bearing on the stock ones. So that's why you can feel more of the road and it feels like you're more connected to the road. This is in the hood. I don't want you guys to see the Whipple anymore. Can't let everyone know what I got under the hood. It's a mystery because you can tune these cars and everything. Now we're gonna talk about the exhaust. The stock active exhaust on the S650s, it sounds really good. It's really deep, but I needed it to be a little more louder. I got a Ford Performance Xpipe. Now, if you buy this car new, you get 42,000 Ford Pass points, and that equivalates to about $210, I think. You can buy that Ford Performance Xpipe with those points. It comes out to like 50 bucks. So that's why I got it. Super good, no issues with it. Just a cut and clamp, or you can get it welded if you want. I think it sounds really good. It really does get raspy up in there once you kind of get like up to 5,000 RPMs, but we're gonna start it up so you guys can hear it. Now this is just a warm start, but once the idle drops, we'll do a remote rev. So that was the remote rev feature on the 2024 Mustang. The first one revved it up to like 2,000 RPMs, and then the second remote rev I did, it revved it up to I think about 5,000 RPMs. So it does sound really good. I honestly really don't care to get an exhaust right now. The only reason why I would want to get an exhaust is because you get bigger tips and the tips look better than the stock ones. Overall, I'm really happy with the exhaust and how it sounds. The thing I ended up adding is the OEM Performance Pack oil cooler. Like I said, I don't have the Performance Pack on my S650, so I had to add the oil cooler because these oil temps get crazy hot on a base S650. So I ended up adding the oil cooler, which is located right here in the driver's side lower grille. And so far, it's been pretty good. I mean, I drove a Performance Pack S650, kind of beat on it a little bit, but nothing to the extent I would on this one because it wasn't mine. And the oil temps were relatively the same. So I definitely would recommend doing that. You can also use your Ford Pass points for an oil cooler and Ford parts too. So that's just an FYI. I also did, obviously, what everyone pretty much does, is I got tint on the car. This is Xpel 15% ceramic tint, ceramic 15% on all of the car. And on the windshield, I got 50% ceramic tint on the windshield. So the thing I did very first when I first got the car with like 200 miles on the car, I got it fully PPF'd. I got the front end, whole front hood, front vent, fenders, bumper, headlights, and mirror caps, all in Xpel regular PPF, and it doesn't scratch and it doesn't swirl. I definitely recommend you get your car PPF because It's just, rock chips are just terrible, and there are some like little nicks in the PPF from rocks, but you could just peel it off and your paint will be perfectly fine. So guys, that is everything I have done to my S650 Mustang within 12 months of ownership. I love the way it looks. I don't know what else I would do different, but I'm always looking for the next mod. What do you guys think I should do next? Different wheels, Whipple, long tube headers, full catback exhaust system, carbon fiber mirror caps, carbon fiber lip. It's literally endless. What do you guys think I should do? But that is everything I've done to my car, and thanks for watching.